The off-screen king Shiba strikes again. They will not let my man do a fight on screen. It's never gonna happen until it does. And then when it does, it'll be hype as hell. But anyways, this is a double chapter, but it's mostly gonna be 118 because 117 is functionally the prelude to this. But I didn't do it because I was on vacation and then I got sick and then I was like, well, I could do this, but I am a man of habit. So the Irishima talks, let's talk about them. To quote an iconic piece of cinema, the negotiations were short, but there is an interesting aspect of that there's the classical art piece that Hokazono made that is insane on like a, oh, this is like racism because it's the other guys are the demons, but we're the cool Japanese guy. But also just that he made that whole like painting style, which is just like hats off to you, man. I could not do that. We know the Soga clan just killed all the Mikaboshi, which is our guys who were ready for the talks. And they do so much talking, but like, if we're being honest, you send 3 mooks to go meet the diplomats. Like, this is a battle shown in manga. That's never going to go well. And unsurprisingly, the talks last about 2 minutes before, well, I don't even think they get to say a word before they're dead. And then all the other guys show up and they're like, we'll keep one of you alive so we can talk to you. But then our goats show up. Well, our goats and this other 2 Soga guys. Shiba's here, Mashiro's here, and then the 2 Hiroto Soga and Yoshinogo Soga, who look like they really never had any desire in peace. They just wanted to throw hands. But by 12:02, the talks dissolved, and it's fighting time. Well, Shiba at least tries to keep a cool head and work towards peace or like a reasonable discussion, as he usually does, which is always a good part of his characters, and he's always trying to, you know, not just kill everyone. But then you look at the Soga, Mr. Older Soga, and you're like, yeah, he doesn't really care. He's here to kill, and so he does. They get the backstory from the Mikaboshi themselves. We're like, hey, you killed us all, Soga clan. We're here to, you know, take our stuff back, please. And they went, no. And about 30 seconds later, they're throwing hands as everybody goes to fight. Shiba says goodbye, and then it's lights out, good night. That's GG. But we do get our first Mashiro stuff. Thankfully, finally, we kind of see what he's doing, which is that he creates pressure in a specified place and direction, which seems very simple, but I appreciate it's very simple, but also is one of those that's like, what does pressure mean? But it also means like, that's the thing that I at least can see having a wide application, even if the Mikaboshi guy just kind of cuts through it immediately and starts throwing hands with Mashiro before he's like, here's my Kunishige sword, say bye-bye to your head. That he's just kind of got floating with the, I think it looks like the pressure rings. I thought it was cups, but now I'm realizing it's probably just the pressure rings, where he's using the pressure to manipulate the thing of the sword, which I'm just realizing is actually, that's so sick. That's so cool that he's mixing the sword with the pressure plates, these little pressure beams. That's so creative. I love that so much. I didn't even put that together. That's so cool. But then every other fight's off screen. The 2 Soga guys we don't get to see. One just pops up and is like, I killed him. Here's him skewered on my thing. And you're like, yeah. And the older guy also just does it. And then of course she was still there. But then there's the old guy who's kind of just chilling. Didn't really fight anyone. Unclear what he's doing. And then we see history getting rewritten in real time. It really is just like history. You see what looks like Shiba just kind of beaten up a little bit, who doesn't do anything, but then we see that Mr. Sankoku is dead, whose name I'm forgetting, because they attack him, but it kind of makes, at least to me, the implication is strange, because it doesn't tell us what Shiba says, which presumably means they're rewriting history so that we don't know what he says. But then the next panel is Mr. Shokoku like massively dying and a guy just kind of sitting there, the one who they didn't kill, which makes it seem like the history's written to it's like, oh, they just died. But it's like, well, not quite, but we at least know what happened. We didn't get the cut version. We got the mostly full retelling besides off screen a couple fights, which I honestly wasn't sure if they were gonna spend time to do or not, but They do kind of set up the beginning of the chapter where it's like, yeah, these guys are, Master like, yeah, these guys aren't that crazy, but there's the one, Mr. Leader, who is very scary. But the negotiations were indeed short, and now there's pretty easy grounds for war from both sides, considering one did kind of just say, give us our land, and Japan went no, and they went, okay, we'll kill you now. But then they also tried to kill each other, so they're kind of, you know, that is what that is. Because the big old guy is still sitting there, which is, he's just ominously existing, which is interesting and intriguing, but also kind of scary. But that's probably not all of the Irishima talks. We might get a part 3 to kind of deal with the rest, but I also think this could be the end of it because of the testimony stuff, where we kind of are just cutting history in real time. But we'll see. Either way, it's gonna be a war, I'll tell you that much. The war arc is indeed gonna have war pretty soon. But on another note, there's a jump press coming soon, and I see a Kagurabachi fish. I'd know that little guy anywhere. So this, I'm hoping for and praying for an anime announcement. I'm seeing the tweets, but when we once, shame on me, I'm not getting fooled twice. I'll believe it when I see that from the official Shonen Jump account. Granted, I've seen all the rumors and the leaked shafts and all things, and I am very excited. But I don't want to get my hopes too high, because we went through this last time, and then we waited like a year for an formal announcement, presumably if what this is. So I'm seated. The staff are worried because I'm seated for so long, but I'm ready. Give me a couple more days, and then I've got a Haikyuu one right, like basically right after. I'm eating good. Kagurabachi fans, we are eating good. Haikyuu fans, we are eating good. It's just peak across the board. Man. Kagurabachi, what a manga. Crazy it took presumably 118 chapters to get an anime adaptation, but Akane Banashi's at like 200 and we just got episode 2. So, you know, that's that.